But all right. Angry Bears fan podcast with episode 30 now. I'm looking at 30 in. Appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, please, comment, all of that good stuff. The Bears season is almost underway. We're about 3-4 weeks out from training camp. Um,
Yep.
Me and Tom are going to make a point, try and get out there. I know I told my wife I want to go. Might make it. Maybe we go. So I'll go with my family. Maybe me and you'll go one day. Maybe we'll all make it a thing. Whatever. But I want to go down there with a GoPro, make some content, talk to some people. Um, but all right. Me and Tom were talking about this before. Not much going on the Bears front. A lot of posturing. Polls went on a couple. Made a couple statements. Said that they were in the market for a pass rusher. There's a few disgruntled ones out there. Um, I've been harping on Chase Young, but I'm beginning to lose faith. I just feel like if it's going to happen, it's got to be within the next couple of weeks. I'm guessing would like it to happen before training camp.
Well, Washington's GM pretty much said that he's not available.
Yeah, I saw that word, but I don't know. They say that.
They have to say that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly. To
saying?
drive
It's
the
like,
price up, he can't come out and say, "Oh, well, he's available." Then everyone's going to be like, "Well, the price just went down."
yeah, and that's one of those things where it sucks because when you think about it, realistically, they need a good pass rush. And one of the names that was brought up was Quentin Williams. But Quentin Williams, of course, playing a defensive tackle position, and we just drafted a couple. I know he's one of the best in the business, and CBS Sports actually has the Bears as the top landing spot for Quentin Williams. But I mean, it's how much is going to cost? It's probably at least a first round pick because
Yeah,
he's
I don't.
amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't want Quentin Williams. He is amazing. I think he's so good. We could find a place for him. He probably could play a little D end if we need him to. And those two guys are young. They're not going to be every down players. It's going to be a rotation. So I'm not too much worried about that. But yes, the price is going to be high on both ends. Probably 25. I think he said he wanted 25 mil a year. Um, on top of it, like I said, it's going to be a first round pick. If we get some, in my head, I'm fine with them rolling the dice on a pass rusher for a second, depending on who. Like I said, I was all in for Chase Young for a second if they can make that work. Quentin Williams maybe a second of something else, throwing a player. I don't know, but seems like he doesn't want to be there. This is like a new age where the organizations don't tend to hold the players hostage like they used to anymore. Guys say they want out and they're gone. Jalen Ramsey's a good example of that. Kind of said, "Oh, you know what I mean? I'm not feeling it here anymore. I want to restructure my contract." And then he's out of there in 2 weeks. I think Quentin Williams will be gone. I don't know if it's going to be us. I don't think we're coming off one of our first round picks. I don't think they want to lose either of them.
Yeah, that would be tough. I know, like, I understand wanting to add somebody like Quentin Williams to the defense, but at the same time, Ryan Poles is really big into his draft capital. Every year so far that he's had a draft, he's gained draft picks and not lost draft picks. So it would be really tough for me to believe that Ryan Poles would be okay with giving away a first round pick for Quentin Williams because, like you said, he wants to be the highest paid defensive tackle. So that's going to be over the $23 million mark that Deron Payne got. So yeah, you're probably looking at 25 mil a year. Um, in terms of like pass rushers on the trade market, because Ryan Poles did say that they are looking into the trade market for a pass rusher. Who else is available out there besides the two from Washington that we've heard
Yeah,
so much about? There's just not a lot. Not
nobody's
that I could
there.
think of.
Um,
I mean, maybe they fuck around because San Francisco's got to pay everybody under the sun. Maybe they fuck around and try to trade for Nick Bosa at some
that's not
point. I
happening.
like.
No, Bosa ain't going nowhere.
I just
Bosa I
I don't
think's
know what he's thinking.
unavailable. Maybe somebody, I don't know, Derek Brown, Brian Burns. Um, yeah, I don't think. I think it's really Chase Sweat or Quentin Williams at this point, or we're just gonna have to roll the dice. There is a kid. I don't have my notes in front of me. They signed who was an undrafted free agent. I really like as a pass rusher. Maybe they just signed some specialists. I think at the end of the day, we've been talking about him bringing his name up a lot. I think Yannick will end up on the Bears, or Leonard Floyd. One of them. They aren't on the team yet. They want to make some money. They want to play too, and being on the Bears, you're going to be in a get to pass rush at least. but it'll
Yeah,
be
you're
interesting
going
to
to
see
be
how
a
it
big
goes.
part of the rotation. They're going to be a big part of the rotation, those veterans that you mentioned, only because there's really no other talent on the
Yeah,
defensive end on that
for us to look
roster.
at, like I said, unless Sewell makes some steps and they really like him transitioning to a rusher, it's just nobody out there. I envision we'll be seeing a lot of like Justin Jones and probably one of the rookies at the end at times, just because we're thin there right now. Just it's weird. And he's still got to spend some money. I'm interested to see what it is, just because him not even getting any free agents at this point makes me think that he's trying to work something behind the scenes, a Chase Young deal or something behind the scenes, Buckner, something, because we have to get somebody, and you want them on your roster sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
You want them in your building, you want them working with the guys and all that stuff. So that really makes me think something's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it's aggressive, but I'm sure he's in talks with for Chase Young and things like that. And he doesn't want to be in a situation where he signs, oh my God, LeBron just missed a wide open dunk. Wow. He tried to like cock it back and do like a windmill and he like hit it off his knee and it went out of bounds. Wow.
I just
What
don't,
he
I
was
don't
doing his
understand.
Patham like windmill and he fucking fumbled it. Wow.
I, I know, I understand Joel Embiid was really, really good this year. I don't understand how Jokic did not get the MVP again this year,
The
especially with
MVP
what he,
is after once you win a couple, they just don't want to give it to you anymore.
he is
It's
by
also
far
like a
the best
lifetime
player in
achievement award.
basketball.
I don't know if that. I don't know if I could say that. I think
He is
if I
the
had to
best
pick
player
one,
in basketball right now.
that you would take him over Giannis.
Yes,
No, I
right
wouldn't
now I
take him
would.
over him. I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. He's
There's
just
a
not the two
look,
way.
look what he's doing in the Western Conference compared to what Giannis did in the Eastern Conference. He just lost to the 8th seed.
But that was that's recency bias. Unless he wins the championship, Giannis got two MVPs and is a champion.
I understand that, but at the same time, I'm talking about right now. I said right now. We're
Yeah,
talking
I
about
mean,
recency bias.
but
Jokic is
yeah,
the best player in basketball right now.
yeah. I mean, he's playing the right, the like all the guys left. Yeah, sure. That doesn't mean I don't think that doesn't mean I think at the beginning of the
He
season
was the
he's the
best
best
player
player.
all season.
I do think he should have been MVP. I wasn't. But I don't think the MVP is the best player in the league. I just think this year, I agree, he should have been MVP over Embiid. I think they don't ever want to give anybody three. Like nobody's got who's gotten three in a row. Michael Jordan. That's like the only person I can think. I don't even think he got three in a row. I don't know. I would have to look back, but they don't like giving people three. As much as I hate LeBron, I was just goofing on him. He should have like six. And it's just in reality. I don't mean it. You know what I mean? I don't like LeBron to gas him up, but there's years he should have clearly fucking won, and they didn't give it to him. Usually, after you win like two, they're like, "Oh, we're tired of you." Joe, I don't know though. Joker's weird. It's kind of like Russ, where we're so used to it, it's not impressive anymore. Where it's like, "Oh, cool, you got a triple double." Like, don't you always get a triple double? Do something else. Do something else cool. That was Russ's problem. But I don't know. Joshi is good. Speaking of, I guess NBA, we can talk about them a little bit. Like I said, nothing too much going on with the Bears. It's just we're sitting around waiting for Ryan Poles to make a move, add us a pass rusher, and then that'll be like the last piece to the puzzle. Basically, going into the season. Obviously, it's not a Super Bowl contender, but we'll be done worrying. We are who we are, and we're just gonna have to hope that all the young guys took another step. But we still need that pass rusher, preferably a veteran run or somebody with some huge upside. Um, but we need him out there just because it'll be all for none if we don't have any way to rush the passer. Because I think we'll be okay stopping the run. I think we got some big bodies out there. Edmonds, TJ Edwards, and Sanborn are, you know what I mean? They're missiles, they heat seekers, they find the ball, they tackle these guys, they get them down on the ground. So I do think we'll be okay in the run game, but we have to have somebody who can at least hurry the quarterback's internal clock up, even if they're not getting home every time. But you know what I mean, get by, pushing the pocket, collapsing the pocket, things like that.
It's a disaster. I'm just really hoping. I'm hoping for the love of God that we're better in the run defense, which we should be with the
Yes.
linebackers we have in the defensive tackle position. We kind of shored that up a little bit. It's pretty
Yeah.
deep now. I'm hoping that it gets better. And then just like you said, the pass rush, it has to improve. It has to. If we allow teams to just sit back and give them 5, 6, 7 seconds in the pocket, it's going to be a long season. Because
Mm-hmm.
as good as our defensive backfield is, nobody can guard wide receivers for 7 seconds every single play.
I wouldn't even say we could. I mean, they played better than we thought, but I mean, they're just average. And that's why we need a pass rush. They played good. Um, and it's just, yeah, it's disheartening at this point because, like I said, I'm really worried that we're not going to have anybody. But I think at worst case scenario, we'll end up with Yannick. He's nowhere yet, and he's got ties to our coach and our defense. So I just think that would be the best fit. God, come on, Nuggets.
Yeah, plus they're gonna have joint practices with the Colts
Oh, I didn't know
this
that.
offseason. Yeah, they're gonna have joint practices with them. So maybe during training camp and stuff like that, we'll see some Indianapolis Colts. Who knows?
All right, like I said, Bears not too much. We're sitting around. Hopefully, Ryan Poles makes a move sooner rather than later. I'm really, really hoping it's Chase Young. As much as I hate Ohio State, I just think the upside is there. It's disgruntled. I think we can buy low right now. I can't imagine they're asking for more than the second. I guess they are asking for a first, but I'm sure they would be fine with a second. They're in a rebuild if they want to say so or not. Um, but we'll see. Quentin Williams, I don't see it. I don't think Poles wants to sign market setters.
Yeah,
Or we
yeah.
would have kept Roquan. Yeah. So I think he's gonna. I mean, he wants to get some bang for his buck. Even though I do think Quentin Williams is really good, I just think he kind of plays the positions we just drafted, and we're looking more for a straight up edge. Oh man, nice move. All right, but
I'm gonna let my dogs out
all
real
right, go
quick.
ahead.
The wife is almost home, and I don't want them to go ape shit crazy when she comes in the door.
All right, but like I said, we'll go into a little bit of basketball. The Bulls missed out on the lottery. Victor Wembanyama or whatever you want, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he will be going to the Spurs. They're saying he's the generational talent. Again, I don't really see it. I mean, he looks good. I don't see like again. I talk a lot of shit about LeBron, but I also give him his praise. I don't see LeBron. I see
Well,
Chet Holmgren, but a little bit better.
what they're saying is he's Kevin Durant at the size of Yao Ming
Yeah,
because he's 7'5". But that runs into an issue that we saw with Yao Ming. As dominant as Yao Ming was, he only had what 5, 6 really good productive years because of injury.
I wouldn't even say 5 or 6. Probably like 3, where he
Like
did miss more than
when
half
you're
the
that,
season.
yeah, when you're that tall, when you're that size, it's very hard to maintain that type of body of work in the NBA. I mean, maybe in today's day and age of load management, but there's still got to be some concern there. And then, like you said, they miss out because the Bulls drew number 11, which is what everybody expected in terms of like the percentages anyway. That pick goes to New Orleans. So now the Vucevic trade is completed, and he's a free agent. But then
Yeah, right. He's
next
a free
year,
agent. They got Franz, Wendell Carter, and then the number 11 pick. And now Vooch is
also,
about to walk out the door.
also, the Bulls owe their 2025 pick to San Antonio. There was something I read it on Twitter. I forgot what it was about, but as long as it's a top, I think if it's a top 10 pick, they keep it. If it's anything out of the top 10, it goes to San Antonio. I don't know what it's for. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, let's see.
But they who the Bulls are in trouble.
Yes, the Bulls basically are have no choice but to hope they draft a second round Jojic or Patrick Williams turns into Giannis or Kawhi Leonard and out of nowhere just starts playing like a superstar.
Yeah, they all right, so here it is right here. So 2023, 2024, 2025. The Bulls owe their first round pick to the Spurs unless they may miss the playoffs and finish in the top 10 of the 25 draft order as part of the sign and trade for DeRozan. If the Bulls do not convey the pick in 2025, it becomes a top 8 protected first in 2026. If not conveyed then, it becomes a top 8 protected in 2027. And if it is not conveyed by then, it becomes a second rounder in 2028.
Mm.
The Bulls also owe their 2025 second round pick to San Antonio as part of the DeRozan deal.
Well, that's not too bad because I mean, if it ain't 8, nobody cares anyway. I mean, 10 wasn't. I mean, it would have been nice the Bulls to have it just to have it. Like I said, it's a lottery pick. It's a stab in the dark. But weren't they like 11 last year? Or what were they? 17? I don't know. They weren't 11, right?
Yeah, they were 11 this year.
Okay. What were they last year? They picked Terry. What pick was that? 15 or something like that. That's what I'm just saying. Like,
it's something.
like unless you're like top 5, I wouldn't really care about the pick. Basketball is. Dude, those guys usually just don't fall. The Bulls need to figure out they need to go get a different coach, and they have to figure out how to make Chicago a free agent destination.
Well, they just signed Billy Donovan, to an extension at the beginning of this year, and then they signed AK to an extension in the offseason. What the fuck are you doing?
Jerry Reister is terrible at hiring front office people. It is apparent.
It's so bad.
I don't know what they're gonna do. They also have to pray that Lonzo comes back healthy. He has no reason to accept the buyout. So unless he'll accept the buyout of some sort, he's still in your books. Levine is pretty much stuck on your team. He's not worth, or you're not gonna be able to get what he's worth contract wise.
What would you trade to Portland for the number 3 overall pick? Because apparently they want to keep Dame and trade the pick to build around Dame.
I mean, not Levine. As much as I don't like Levine, I don't think after number 2 there's anybody better than him. I mean, I get unless Scoot doesn't go 2, but I think Scoot will go 2. I think Levine's better than, but besides Levine, I mean anybody, Vooch, DeMar. But would they want those guys?
I
just don't.
Maybe,
DeMar, yeah, but not for the number 3 pick. Like
DeMar, Patrick Williams.
Yeah, it would have to be like Io, and then. But
I
mean, if in my head, if you're gonna make a move at Portland, I would go for Dame. I know they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna build around Dame" because they don't want to make Dame mad. I think if you make them a crazy offer, they'll take it for Dame and do what the Thunder do. They're a small market team. They don't really want to be paying Dame $60 million a year anyway. And I think that's more what I would do. And I would go DeMar, Vooch, Io, Pat Will, and every first we got for the next 4 or 5 years, and give us Dame and run Dame, Levine.
How old is Dame now? 32?
30 something. I'll have to look. He played 4 years in college too, I'm pretty sure. So he's older.
Yeah, I think he's like 31, 32 years old, maybe 33, but he's getting up there.
32.
And yeah, so in terms of basketball age, what has he got?
He sat out the last few years. He wasn't actually hurt. It was more of a he had no reason to play.
So what's he got, like 5 good years left?
Yeah, I'd say 5
really good years.
Yeah, I would say 3 to 5 of being a top 5 point guard. But I think the Bulls need to go baby steps now. And instead of trying to win the championship, they need to get a superstar. I think they're going too many steps ahead. They were like, "Oh, Levine's a superstar. Let's go get DeMar and Vooch." And now we got a superstar and 2 all-stars, and we're going to win games. And it just they moved too fast, and Levine wasn't the guy, and it was all for nothing.
What if say AK and the Bulls decide to take the Ryan Poles approach and just completely tear it down and do a complete rebuild? Would you be okay with that?
I mean, yeah, the Bulls, as they are right now, they're not gonna make it out of the first round. Playing their best ball, they're not making it out of the first round.
I think it's also safe to assume that the front office hasn't just made that terrible deal, but we definitely lost the Jimmy Butler trade. Now, back in the day, I don't know if your mom would remember this or not, but we were sitting in the house in Rockford, and your brother Camden was there too. And it was when the Bulls were playing the Cavs, and I was like, because they were talking about LeBron. Your mom loves LeBron. Talking about him being the greatest player on the planet. Obviously, which was the case. And I looked at her and your brother, and I said, Jimmy Butler one of these days is going to be a superstar. And they both laughed at me. And I told them, I mean, obviously, I didn't expect him to turn into the two-way player that he is, but you could tell from the get-go that he was an absolute lockdown defender. And he was pretty good as a LeBron stopper. Um, but looking back on that trade, the Zach LaVine trade, where we traded Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine, do you think the Bulls regret that and kind of wish they had Jimmy Butler back instead of making that trade for Zach LaVine to
Oh,
begin with?
I'm get 1,000,000%. I mean, Jimmy's just, and he's beloved in the NBA. I think guys would want to come play there. I think they did this multiple times. They made the wrong choice and sided with the front office instead of Tibbs and instead of Jimmy Butler, and it and that's always been the Bulls' MO. It's always bit them in the ass that they show
Do you know?
loyalty to the GM and not the players and the coaches, the guys out there playing the games.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the Elton Brand trade?
Yeah, I remember.
Traded Elton Brand, who was a perennial 20 point, 10 rebound guy, to draft Tyson Chandler and
Yeah.
Eddie Curry. Um, Elton Brand went on to have a fantastic career. Obviously, he hasn't had the success Jimmy Butler has. He kind of choked in the playoffs a little bit. He played on some bad Clippers teams, but he was a perennial all-star. And that just adds to the history of bad trades that the Chicago Bulls have made. Going back to the Elton Brand trade.
I mean, they just
Um,
haven't made any good. Yeah, you're right. The Vooch trade was just god awful. Um,
the Levine trade was
Jimmy
bad
Butler,
in
Levine.
hindsight.
Yes, I mean, getting rid of Derrick Rose, getting rid of Tibbs. They just, when they're at a crossroads, they seem to always make the wrong choice. They never should have got rid of Tibbs. I mean, I won't say never, but at the point they did. They chose Tibbs over the front office over Tibbs. And I think it was wrong. Tibbs has many things wrong. Maybe, you know what I mean? If they say, oh, he was the reason Derrick Rose got hurt. Who knows?
He
Yeah,
did play
sure.
his guys a lot of
A lot.
minutes.
Yes, he did. But I mean,
But Lou Deng never had that kind of injury, and
yes,
Lou Deng was
exactly.
the Iron Man of the league.
Neither did Joe Kim. No, it sucks. It was a freak thing, and it sucks to see Derrick Rose's career cut short. He was, you know what I mean? We all loved him, but I think they blame that on Tibbs, whether it was his fault or God's fault or Derrick Rose's fault, whoever you want to blame. And they ran him out of town. And he was a good coach. You see what he does with the Knicks. Those guys aren't good.
No.
They're not a super talented team. He is a great basketball coach. They fired him for freaking Fred Hoiberg. Like, it's just silliness. And like, and nobody likes Fred Hoiberg. Players like Tibbs. You could get people to come in free agency. He's got like Melo used to talk about how much he always loved Tom Thibodeau. And it's like the Bulls just don't know what the hell they're doing. And now they're like in such a terrible situation to be in. No young good players. I guess Levine is youngish, but he's basically on making what a superstar makes, and he's like a borderline all star. Um, DeRozan's about to age out. I mean, he's nice to have, and it's I mean, makes for some competitive games every now and then, but he's not going to get you over the hump. Vooch is a quality NBA player who'll get you 16-9, but he's not going to get you over the hump either. And they just don't have anyone.
Let me ask you this question. With all the stuff that's going around surrounding John Morant, maybe a change of scenery helps him out. Do if you're the Bulls, do you call Memphis and do you see, what it'll cost to get John Morant?
I don't. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you call, but I don't think the Bulls got the ammo. I think it would end up being like the Knicks or somebody. The Knicks, like who the Bulls gonna give like Levine, basically the whole team, and then every first they got for 6 years, like Ja's worth a lot.
I
If Rudy
understand he's worth a
Gobert
lot,
went
but
for
also we don't know how Memphis, views it in terms of, well, he's kind of a headache if he's going to be suspended for, this, he's not going to be available. What can we
yeah.
realistically get for him? Which I think the whole John Morant suspension is bullshit anyway. He technically he was not breaking a law.
Well, I don't think it's because he was breaking the law. I think he was breaking the NBA bylaws or whatever.
I get that, I understand that, but there was another NBA player, I forgot who it was, who literally put out, he's like, everybody's got guns. You know what I'm saying? He
I mean, that's
obviously they're
fine.
not flashing it,
Yes.
but I don't see what the big I don't see what the big deal is with John Morant. I mean, yeah, sure, flashing the gun, whatever, you kind of make yourself look stupid and
Well,
immature.
I agree. I don't see the big deal. Well, the NBA is they have sponsors, and the sponsors are going to go, we're not fucking donate, investing $100 million into your guys' brand when one of the five most, marketable players is acting like a freaking hooligan. I don't want to make any excuses for him. I agree that it's not against the law. I don't like these stupid comparisons the players are making. Oh, if it was Luca and he was deer hunting, shut up. Like I said, I'm half black, I'm half white. White guys don't do dumb shit like that. Plain and simple. They just don't because you know what I mean. I don't know. Josh got his dad. You know what I mean. I don't want to make it stereotypical. It's like, but his dad must be his friend. He don't got anybody who just talks some damn sense into him. He's got bad friends. I don't want to hear that, and I don't even blame his friends either because I don't think he's stupid. He's a 6'3" uber athlete who plays point guard in the NBA. You can't be actually retarded and do that. Like you have to have some kind of actual brains. Like he might not know who won the fucking Battle of Waterloo, but he's got some kind of intellect where he's not an idiot. And so I'm not making any excuse for him. He's doing dumb shit. He a grown ass man. What do you do? Like, why? Just do it at your house. I guess if it like, it's just like a bad look. And it's like, why are you on IG Live anyway? Why is your friend like? Why are your friends doing that? Even though I look like his friend like pulled the phone away, he didn't know Ja was going to do that. But it's just like you're putting yourself in precarious situations, and then knowing, and then I mean, he's not. You saw that his apology was Chat GPT. That's coming out. And then you got all these people making excuses for you, and it's like that is not like no, he don't need excuse. He needs accountability. Like just because something's not illegal doesn't mean it's what you're supposed to be doing. Like he could have been, chugging some alcohol in the passenger seat of that car. You know what I mean? It necessarily wouldn't have been illegal on his end. He wasn't drinking and driving. All you know what I mean? It's like, what? Just make better. And it's 2 months after the last one happened.
Yeah.
Not only that, on top of all that, like it was an incredibly stupid thing to do. Even if that was the first time you did it, just 2 months ago, he just got suspended for 10 games right before the playoffs for the same thing. And it's like, I don't know. Like I blame his dad and him.
Yeah, we talk about Jalen Carter a lot and his decision making, and it's the cases are just eerily similar.
And it's making us feel better. It does make me feel better. That video that came out with Jalen Carter, him just being stupid, man. And again, I don't like to feel like I'm an old man, or again, like I said, I am a minority. We've done our dirt. You know what I mean? I've done way worse shit than Jalen Carter's ever fucking done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and it's like, or John Morant, and it's like these fucking guys, and it's like I don't want to, you know what I mean, be on my fucking high horse or anything, but it's like these guys are being fucking knuckleheads. If I had something productive to do in my life, I wouldn't be doing those things. And these guys are just making a fool out of themselves, and they're really just hurting their family and their potential friends. Like they don't realize how much of a beacon they are to their family, to the community. It's like you fuck this up, and it's like you're fucking over, you know what I mean, indirectly hundreds of people. Like Jalen Carter, you know, goes back to his community. He's got money to donate. People will donate because you're an NFL player. And then you don't even need to invest your own money. What happened with fucking Josh Allen and the Bills all the time? Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't even have to donate his own money. He just says, Bills Mafia, donate. And they do. And it's like, that's the type of shit these guys need to be thinking about instead of going to fight guys at Foot Locker for their mom. It's like, John Morant, what are you doing? Like your mom, like I blame his mom too. Why are you calling your end? Like, is he a freaking MMA fighter? Why are you calling your son to handle an altercation you had at a shoe store? Call your husband. But why are you calling the one person that if he gets in trouble, you're all fucked? Like it's like there's no sense amongst any of the people in his circle. They're all intimidated by him. I'd imagine. Like I said, it's different when you see him on the basketball court because he's one of the small guys. But in reality, he's fucking way bigger and stronger.
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Yeah, than everybody than his day-to-day life. And they're intimidated by him. They don't want to make him mad because he's worth, I mean, in his state right now, he don't got it in the bank, but he's worth like $1 billion. Like he's going to make $1 billion if he plays in the NBA for 15 years. You know what I mean? He's probably got a credit card that has no limit. It's like he is worth $1 billion. And it's like, you're calling him because you got into an altercation at finish line? The guys where you think fucking Jeff Bezos, somebody's calling Jeff Bezos if they're having a problem, like, hey Jeff, I need to come down here and handle this fucking, it's like, or Michael Jordan or LeBron, you think LeBron's wife, you know what I mean? She might tell him afterwards, but she got a security guard with him. It's like, get your mama a security guard. Watch her go to the mall without a security guard. You guys are rich, and you can write that shit off.
Yep.
And it's like, they're just no sense amongst all of them. And I hate it making it a race thing because it sort of is, but not in the sense where you can blame it. The race part is only fucking young black kids do this goofy ass shit. There's white players in the NBA. Luka's not from here. You ain't never seen Luka doing nothing crazy. Never.
Chug a beer after a game. That's about it.
But in the locker, I'm just saying, like, you ain't never seen him at a club, out in the street, doing anything stupid. Like, not just anything at all. And it's like Ja has had 10 incidents already. And then they want to blame it on race. It's like, no, he's being a fucking idiot instead of sitting his ass at home. He's like, he got a kid, he got a family. Fuck you at the strip club floor with a gun. Like, you know what I mean? You want to go to the strip club? You know what I mean? Use some modesty, something. But like these guys, Ja is just. It's a shame because there's a lot of guys who would literally kill to be in Ja's position, and he's just being extremely ungrateful right now, and he's hurting not only himself but a lot of people who, like, you know what I mean, they thought he was their golden ticket. I mean, in reality, it's like you heard your daughter, like she was going to get all that money. All the money you make is hers,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna blow her future away because you want to be a rapper. I don't even know what the hell he is, like what he's even doing. He went to a private school. It's like he's not even in the shenanigans. He went to college.
Doc from 8 Mile.
He went to college for what, 3-4 years. It's like you don't even do that. It's one thing if it's like, you know what I mean, like maybe Jalen Carter was doing that. Like I don't know that much about Jalen Carter, and there are some players who were about that. Aaron Hernandez. There's guys who are out there, but it's like John Morant was not.
Johnson.
John Morant was not that guy, and it's like, why do you like? I don't get it. As somebody who was in that shit and got wrapped up in it, it wasn't like this thing that I would.
It's not the glamorous lifestyle that everybody.
Yeah, like not that.
It's not.
And I did it out of like the feel of necessity. Like he has no need to do that. And like I said, he could do what, like he could be doing so many amazing things. It's really despicable to me.
Like you said, at least when we did stupid shit, it was out of desperation.
Yeah.
And like you said, necessity. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to play a game, where's your necessity to do anything?
Yeah, like he could, like I said, he could do, like he could change people's lives with Instagram instead of showing a gun and dancing. Like, why don't you find some young rapper you like and go live with him and talk with him? Like, he literally has the power to change people's lives, and he's out acting a fool, and it's just sad. But I do think the Bulls will make a move to train. I don't want to keep going on and on about John Morant because he's a fucking idiot. But yeah, I think the Bulls should kick the tires. I mean, it's a superstar league. As much as I was just harping on them, you got to get you one. And like I said, that's the first step of the process. You're not winning the championship without a superstar. So you got to get one first and then go from there. And then you build outward from that. I think Zion might be an option. I don't know how much he wants to go to the Bulls. I think you would have to get some ties there, but I think Zion, if you make a crazy offer, might be willing to go. New Orleans is fine without him. It's clear he doesn't want to fucking play there. He's saying shit like, I'm 99.8% ready to go, but not 100%. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, in my head, I'm like, dude, if you're 65%, take your ass out there. Like, that in my head, if I was an NBA player, and I'm not, and I'm sure you're going to be able to get to my head eventually. But I don't know that I'm also was born in a different era where it's like, I just feel obligated to play. I always have. That's why I had to quit playing semi-pro football for free, because I feel an obligation to my teammates that if I'm healthy and I'm, you know what I mean, I'm just being a pussy and I'm not actually hurt, that I go out there and I play, and I think that was a detriment to myself. And so I kind of understand, but it's like, at this point, no offense to Zion, and people can say whatever you want, Zion owes the NBA and the New Orleans Pelican a fucking ACL at this point. What are they? The kids made like $150 million. Like, they owe him. Like, I mean, to be fair, like, okay, let's say you blow your fucking knee out, you never play again, you made $150 million. Like, to play, you know what I mean? He hasn't even played a full season NBA games yet, I believe. I don't think he's played 82 games in total yet. And he's been in the league for 3 full seasons now. It's like, I don't like to be on the owner's side. I hate when I have to feel like I'm like fucking, you know what I mean, on the big dog side. But it's like, I feel like he owes the NBA, the fans, the New Orleans Pelicans. At this point, you owe them an ACL. If it is, you know, if you do go out there and blow it, they have compensated you more than willingly. And I think these players, they get on their little tiny violins, and the fans, and they eat it up when they're like, oh, well, it's my body and it's my livelihood. It's like, dude, people ruin their fucking bodies for freaking $100,000 a year. You guys are getting generational wealth On top of you being famous, Zion can go coach basketball, work at ESPN, do a start a podcast. Like, you know what I mean? After he made the 150 million from the NBA, like he could go on to do whatever he wants. This guy's not going to want for no money. Like, I'm not saying you got to go out there and die, but at least, like, dude, you're 99%. You need to go out there and play. And if your ACL blows out and you never play again, that was fucking God, Buddha, you know what I mean? Fucking Mohammed, whoever you pray to, that was their plan for you. Like, but to be like, you know what, Ben Simmons, oh, I'm just gonna sit out, you go pay me. Like, y'all ruin it for the upcoming um kids, because those guaranteed contracts are going out the window. I guarantee you, in
Yeah.
like 3 to 5 years, those NBA fully guaranteed contracts, it's gonna be like prorated. It's gonna be based on how many games you play or some shit. Because again, I feel like I'm on the NBA side. They have taken this too far. It was cool when Pop was resting guys on, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The second game on a back to back, you know what I mean? When you're on the road, you know, even then it was kind of whack, but you know what I mean? It kind of made sense. He was resting Duncan, you know what I mean? 7 games a year, and it was usually the second game of a back to back on the road. But now guys are like, you know what? They've got it planned where they're only going to play 50 games, and they're just sitting
Yeah, but
out
see,
games.
there's a difference though. Tim Duncan was getting towards the end of his
Yeah,
career in his 30s. You got guys that are sitting out in their early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, 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 no,
I
no.
saw a
Like,
graphic. This is crazy. I think it said the last 17 times LeBron James and Kevin Durant's teams have met, they haven't faced each other. One of them or both
oh
of them was
wow.
injured. The last 17 times their teams have played. That's like 4 years. It's like that's ruining the NBA. I mean, the NBA is doing okay anyway. This year in particular, I'd have to say the NBA playoffs has been amazing. Best year, the best playoffs by far. And
Well,
not, even to take the
been
Kings out of it, and it made it.
it's been unpredictable.
Yes, it's very fun
I
to
was
watch. Some
actually
good
going to
seven game
ask you
series.
about that. Who do you got in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals this year?
After the game ones, I guess it's recency bias. I gave you grief for, but I think Heat and Denver. I think that they're both on a mission. I think Denver's going to win it all.
You don't think Boston bounces back against
I think
Miami?
I think they're going to play a 6 or 7 game series. I think Boston will bounce back and win some games. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I just think Jimmy seems to be on a mission. Spoelstra, I think it's clear, is the best coach in the NBA. I don't think it. I mean, I guess Pop's been kind of tanking, and I know the Heat do have Jimmy Butler, but he misses a lot of games, and Jimmy Butler is really only a superstar in the playoffs. He's more of like a high quality all star during the regular season. He doesn't play
Yeah,
like this.
that makes a difference though. When you
No, I'm not saying, and I don't mean
playoffs,
it to. It's not like a slide against them. You want to turn it up, but I'm just saying like the Heat are amazing. They got Bums, Struess, Duncan Robinson. I mean, Kyle Lowry's corpse, Gabe Vincent, like just like Caleb Martin. These like are not quality NBA players, and I don't mean to shit on these
Bam
guys.
Adebayo
And
or
even
whatever.
Bam is an undersized center who I don't think would be as good on a different team. And I think Spoelstra's just a hell of a coach. I think it will
Now
be.
remember the Bulls had Max Struess at one
Yes, I remember.
point.
I think he's from Chicago.
He is.
Yes, Max. I remember that. Yeah, but again, like I said, that's why Spoelstra's the best, because he just coaches. Like, I mean, that guy can. They build talent, and then they find a way to incorporate him into the game plan, and it works out. And these guys play hard. They play two-way basketball. They play smart. It reminds me a lot of Spoelstra, but like I said, with Jimmy's grittiness, they play real good defense. It's the Bulls just they ever since Michael Jordan, it's been like a curse. Um, Derrick Rose getting hurt, Jimmy Butler trade, Elton Brand trade, Lonzo Ball. I mean, and we kind of blew past that. The Lonzo Ball thing is just that sucks too. I mean, Lonzo had a bright career ahead of him, I think.
I told you it's the point guard curse.
And I like Lonzo. I thought he always reminded me of like Jason Kidd. I always got those vibes from him that he would start shooting later. He was a great defender, the Bulls were playing great with him too. They looked really good, like a really good team. I don't know if they would have won the championship. I won't say that, but I think they could have took with the healthy Lonzo. I think they would have took the Bucks 6 or 7 games the year they won the championship, and it's just done. And they've made bad move after bad move with the first round picks. They haven't had one since what Pat Will was at 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it gives them no leverage to make a move when these disgruntled stars do become available. Like, can you trade protected picks? Like, so can they can't trade that pick that they owe to San Antonio, right? So it's like they can't even trade the pick.
They can't trade it until like the pick becomes official.
Yes.
So if they have it if they have a top 10 pick next year, they can, or in
Yeah,
2025,
afterwards.
they
That's
can
what I meant.
trade
But
it.
it's like, so if somebody comes available, they can't even do anything. And it's like,
No,
they're in a miserable position as an organization. I really think they need to fire Billy Donovan. I don't know why they extended him. AK, what's it been? 2 years now? So Vooch trade wasn't him, right? Or was that his
no,
first?
that was
That was
his
the
first
first
trade.
thing. Yeah. Also, it's been 3 years or two, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I think at that point, what fire act two? He tried and it failed. No harm, no foul. I mean, I guess what the Bulls are, but you know what I mean. You live and you learn, and you go get somebody else. But they need to be superstar hunting. They need one desperately. I think Dame could be an option. I really think they're posturing with the we'll trade the number 3 pick for Dame. I think they're really hoping they get some Dame offers. I think for a small market team like Portland, I think if they get a nice young fun team, they'll still sell a lot of tickets, the same amount of tickets they would have sold with Dame without having to pay Dame. Um, and like I said, Zion, I think he'll be floated around as. I mean, I just think Zion's out there. If you make a crazy offer, they'll give you Zion. He clearly doesn't want to play in New Orleans. He needs to get somewhere where he wants to go play.
Yeah, I mean the just the thing with Zion that scares me is he's talking about how he's not mentally prepared, not mentally ready yet to play the game. It's like I understand what it's like mentally to be an athlete. I understand the mindset that you have to have in order to be a high level athlete, maybe not a high level athlete, obviously, but to be an athlete in general. And I just don't see how you're a naturally talented person. I don't. What kind of mental? It has nothing to do with mentally being able to perform because you can. You're a freak athlete. Is it, a mental? Is it like the yips? Like, are you afraid you're
No,
gonna go out there and be cautious about your knee, or
I think that's what they're writing it off as. But you know what I think it is? I just think he knows that he's not going to be the best player in the NBA, and that's what he was supposed to be. That's what he was the best player in college. He was the best player in high school. I think it's a lot of pressure. That you know what I mean. Like they expect you to go out there to dominate and win and do crazy stuff. You know what I mean. In his head, you're right. It might be a little bit of his knee because they're like, oh well, I'm Zion. I got to go get big blocks. I got to go throw down big alley oops, and you might be a little scared. Um, but like I said before when I started this, I think at this point you can say what you want about me, but I think Zion owes the people an ACL. You can live your life just fine without your ACL. It ain't like you blow your ACL out and you can't walk anymore. You just won't be able to be an elite basketball player anymore. And I think they have compensated you to the point. I think a lot of these players are taking low management too far. Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons, to be damned your health. Like, yeah, if you're gonna die, they're not compensating you enough. But and that's where NFL players have more of a gripe where like they're literally putting their body on the line. But it's like NBA players are putting their ligaments on the line. Like, oh no, your MCL is gonna be torn. You've made $300 million throughout your NBA career. Like, big fucking whoop. You sit out, you retire, a rich old man. You know what I mean? Not a rich young man with your life ahead of you when you made it. You know what I mean? You should, in reality, have $50 to $100 million in the bank. And it's like I'm supposed to feel bad for you. Like, no, I don't anymore. And that part is ruining basketball. I'm glad there's some of these new younger guys aren't like that. I think we need more of the Ant Edwards and these guys who love to go play basketball because um, they're getting to the point where people are saying, "Oh, we don't need 82 games." But it's like, how are these guys going to want? If they cut the 82 games down, they're not going to pay you more money. That's where
nope,
they get money from the fucking games. That's why they can afford to give you all this freaking money.
exactly.
So it's like y'all need to start acting like I love basketball, or they're going to cut the games down because you guys are
It,
saying it's too much of wear and tear in your body, and then you guys are going to make less money. They're not. These guys are billionaires who make you know what I mean, have enough money to pay all of you. So they're not in the business of making terrible business decisions. So if it gets cut down to 60 games, your salary is getting prorated to that. And it's like, so
yeah.
these guys have to decide: do you want to make the big bucks, play 82 games, or do you want to fucking rest? And I know a lot been going around on social media where they're saying like, oh, it's because it's a championship era. You know what I mean? People say you don't that yeah, you didn't matter if you didn't win championships. And I just think that's bullshit. Yeah, we'll joke about it, but Charles Barkley is one of the most beloved basketball players in NBA history. And on the entertainment side, you know what I mean, top five. Allen Iverson, beloved. There's plenty of guys who never won a ring that everyone freaking loves. It has not, you know what I mean? Yeah, it looks good. These guys won it because You know what I mean? It's their oh, I won a championship, I did XYZ. But these guys need to go out there and play for the love of basketball because you guys make a lot of freaking money. And you're like I said, they're not putting their brains on the line like NFL players. And even those guys, I mean, I could go on the same kind of tangent. Like NFL players, they went to college. Like, be a fucking lawyer if you don't want to put your brain on the line. Nobody told you you had to go mush heads. Um, you want to pretend. I mean, I know it's a dangerous game, but those guys pretend like the NFL is hiding concussions from them. I'm like a freaking retard.
But they also made a choice. These players made a choice.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm not saying these contracts are bad. What I'm saying is, don't fucking sign it. Get a better lawyer, but don't sign into something and then start complaining about it. And like I said, signing up for football is a lifetime thing. These guys who play, like you gave your if you would have put that same energy into being anything else, you would have done it. It's easier to be a lawyer than to become an NFL player. It's easier to be an engineer than to become an NFL. Just the path is. It's just hard work. You don't have to like be blessed with the, you know what I mean, the height and the speed and the weight. You don't have to grind in the weight room like you would have to. It's like, so I don't want to hear your goddamn excuses. It's like you chose to pick a violent game that you know what I mean, to use your God given abilities you might have been blessed with your size, but it's like you have to live with that. You could have been a lawyer. I don't want to hear you complain about how dangerous football is. It's like, do firefighters get to complain about how dangerous fires are? No, they've decided to be a freaking firefighter and they run in the goddamn fire. And it's like that's what happened with football. That's what happened to basketball. You decided you're going to be a basketball player, so go play basketball every day. And it's not even every day. It's 82 games plus the maybe 20 in the playoffs, 100 games out of 365. Oh no, you get, you know what I mean, on the low end, $10 million a year to play a basketball game every other day during a 7-month span. And you're saying your body can't take it. And it's like, I think this pussiness is why your body can't take it. Why didn't Michael Jordan's knees blow out or Scottie Pippen's or, you know what I mean? Like, no, because they were practicing every day and playing every day and their body was built for it.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing, all the old school guys, and in a much more physical league,
Yes, and
nonetheless.
they got hurt. It's like your body. What happens is like when you're a young man and in college and young in your career, when you learn how to play with a sprained ankle, your ankle gets stronger. Both of them, it heals and it's stronger. You can then you learn how to play on it. You don't feel it, and it's like I don't know. I think basketball is in a quality place. I think they need to fix some of these things up. I believe the players have been taking advantage of the load management. I think the NBA was trying to be player friendly like they have been, but I think to this point the players are they're getting out of hand. And I feel like an old man. I've always been team player, fuck the owners, but John Morant, these Paul Georges, not Paul Georges, the Kawhi Leonards, the Ben Simmons, these guys just doing whatever the hell they want to do, and they're making so much goddamn money. And then their defense is, well, like the owners are making more. It's like, okay, so you get to be an asshole because the owners are greedy. Like, no, you got to do your fucking job.
The owners also, majority of them, well, I shouldn't even say majority of them, a lot of them, their fathers or, what I'm saying, handed it down to them. But, they're the original owners and stuff like that. These were businessmen. These were men that
And
made a
and, and
business
that's
out of
life.
it.
Like the only reason LeBron James is in the NBA, no offense, I know he works hard, but some God, Buddha, like I said, whoever handed him down a 6'8" body, like you got blessed too with the gift. And there are some 6-foot NBA players who grinded their ass off to make it in there. But most of you guys were like, if you weren't born 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan, you weren't going to the NBA. And it's like they leave out that part where they got born with a blessing. Like, yeah, Donald Trump or whoever their daddy was born and they were rich. But some of those guys would wish they got born with LeBron's body. Like, if you told me right now, like, would I rather my dad be rich or me be born in LeBron's body? You know what I mean? Me be born and know I'm going to be LeBron when I turn 18. I would take LeBron every time. Like, so again, it's they make a bunch of excuses, and I don't like to you know what I mean, play the violin for the owners. But just like the owners won the lottery, to you know what I mean. I mean, some of them worked their ass off. Not all. I mean, Michael Jordan didn't win the fucking. I mean, the size thing, I guess, but he played in the NBA for 18 years on top of being a businessman, and he earned that shit. But I mean, some of even if they got it from their dad, like LeBron got his body from his dad. Like whatever it is, like you all were blessed. So I don't want to hear you sitting around complaining. You know what I mean? A bunch of normal people who didn't get like my dad ain't rich and I wasn't born 6'8". Like you know what I mean? I don't want to listen to you fucking complain like you got it better than me.
I've got the whitest skin on the planet and I burn
Yeah,
being
like
under the sun for 5 minutes. I would much rather have been born LeBron
Yeah,
love.
and I don't want to. I'm not team owners. The owners, I think I just think the owners in the NBA pay their fair share. These players are played great. They got really great contracts where they just get traded when they feel like it, sit out and still get paid when they fucking feel like it. And they
That
want
must
me
be
to,
nice.
yeah,
Wouldn't it be
like,
wonderful if we could, just call up our bosses and be like, you know what, my body hurts. I don't think I can do
yeah, I'm
something
gonna
to
take
win
a little
the
break. I
and
don't work.
still get paid for it.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I'm saying? Like,
top dollar. And it's like Kyrie did it last year. Ben Simmons has basically been doing it for 2.5 seasons now. It's just ridiculous. And I hope they rein that in. I think the NBA is in a good place. There's not all the players like that. Giannis's are good. Jokic plays every night. Like I said, my Kings, those guys are out there playing every night. It's just few bad
yeah,
apples that I think are setting a bad example for the future in the NBA. And I think they need to rein that in, or the NBA is going to get cut down to like a 60 game regular season. And the
that would
players are
be
going to
cool.
lose money, and they're not going to like that either. But all right,
Well,
moving on a little
yeah, I've got.
basketball tangent. The Bears, like I said, it's real slow. We're just sitting around waiting for this Chase Young deal to come through. Quinn
They did
Williams,
have,
somebody.
I forgot to mention this earlier. They did have a meeting set for the with the city of Arlington Heights about the demolition of the property because the Cook County assessor or whatever wants to like raise their taxes a ridiculous amount, so they want to demolish it. That way it won't be, finished property. That way they don't have to pay ridiculous taxes on it. So in terms of stadium movement, there's that. But like you said, other than
Yeah.
that, there's really
It's a
not
waiting
much,
game.
man.
So we'll guess we'll be talking a lot of Bulls draft coming up. But all right.
Unfortunately, the White Sox and the Cubs both suck. So
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the White Sox anymore. Even though they won, I think, last two games. I think they beat the Guardians
yeah,
last year. But
the only good thing is that Luis Robert and Jake Berger are absolutely destroying the baseball. Other than that, there's no other good news to report.
all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you soon, Tom.
Yes, sir.